Climate change will and already has had drastic effects on island nations.
Hey, what's this about climate change?
The weather is part of the climate. The climate includes the weather, the temperature, and the environment. The Earth's climate has changed drastically over the last 150 years. Australia has seen a number of adverse weather events right around the country. Queensland has experienced rain and flooding. There's also been drought, which means there's no rain. New South Wales has also been impacted by floods. Oh, and Queensland also sees cyclones commonly. Victoria and New South Wales have frequent bushfires, often in summer every year. And WA battled bushfires recently too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember there was also some earthquakes recently. Was that because of climate change?
Yeah, Victoria has had a few earthquakes, but they've only been minor.
It's scary it keeps happening.
I've recently made a video about climate change and the different factors involved. Do you want to watch it? This video explains climate change. The Earth revolves around the Sun, which creates our day and night, and also our seasons, winter, summer, spring, and autumn. The Sun does influence the Earth's weather, but is not responsible for climate change. Temperatures fluctuate up and down, but recently temperatures have continued to increase, causing ocean temperatures to rise, prompting more adverse weather. In Australia, there's been more floods, fires, and cyclones.
Right, that's interesting. I thought the recent change in weather and climate was natural. How are humans having an impact?
Well, the Earth's population of humans has grown significantly as more and more people are born. And think, back in the old days, people used to ride horses to get around. But now everybody has vehicles like cars or trains, and they travel using different types of transport. They create emissions that negatively impact the Earth.
Yeah, right. So transport has changed over time, but so has the size of our houses. People used to share bedrooms and have smaller houses. Now everyone wants a room for themselves.
That's right. And previously, there was plenty of forests. But as the population grows, forests are logged so there is clear land to build the houses for everyone to live in. Again, linked back to the world's population growth, we now have factories making things like clothing en masse, fast fashion to produce enough for everyone. The meat industry has done this too, needing to breed livestock like cows and sheep en masse. Those animals create methane emissions, which also impacts the environment.
So, what are the impacts of all these things?
I've recently made an Auslan video about the impacts of climate change. Want to see?
Yeah.
Many years ago was a period known as the Ice Age, from 2.4 million until 11,500 years ago. The whole Earth was frozen and stayed that way for centuries. Woolly mammoths lived in the Ice Age and became extinct around 40,000 years ago because the increase in temperature was unsustainable for their life. Now, as the Earth becomes warmer, temperatures rise and the ice caps are melting in the North and South Poles. Animals such as polar bears and penguins live there but are at risk of extinction. Habitat loss as the ice melts and rising sea levels has meant food is scarce, causing starvation. In the depths of the ocean, sea life such as sea urchins were once sparse, but as ocean's temperatures increase, they are now overabundant. Corals that were once bright colours of orange and blue are dying and bleaching, and aquatic plant life, just like our forests on land, are dwindling.
That's terrible. Those poor animals. I'm worried. What's going to happen in the future?
Well, we see climate change beginning to impact people. Likewise, our actions impact climate change, so it's all an interconnected ecosystem. Amazing, really.
Right. So, what about food?
Yes, well, recently climate change has caused intense rain. The floods mean that we can't grow crops for our food. Likewise, drought means there's no water for the food to grow, and bushfires can destroy it too.
Oh, that makes sense. I went to the supermarket recently and a lot of fruit and veg had run out. It's probably due to the floods that happened recently. I really need to keep in mind that our actions have consequences on the environment. Do you have any videos on what we can do to help?
Yes, I do. I've got a video on tips to look after the earth I can send to you.
That'd be great. I'll go and watch it later.
Great.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.